Hi guys, thanks for joining me tonight. This is the first video of my channel, so don't go too judgy on me. These videos are intended to relax you and also just talk about astrology. My name is Luminary. Obviously that's not my real name, but that is the name that I will go by for this channel. And disclaimer, there will be some clicking sounds because I am currently working in Photoshop and I'm just going to chat at the same time. So this video is going to be about Scorpios and why they're so difficult to deal with. In my opinion, there's two types of Scorpios. Because Scorpio is ruled by both Mars and Pluto at the same time, I tend to notice that there's two types of Scorpios. There are the Martian Scorpios, the ones that are primarily ruled by Mars, and the Pluto Scorpios, which are completely different. So you tend to have Scorpios that come in two types. Ones that are extremely quiet, very observant, and just kind of sit back and watch instead of, being like the life of the party. And then there's the Mars type of Scorpios, which are very much like Aries. Like they just have a very fiery kind of personality. They're very jumpy. They're very almost like a Leo, like they're center of attention. Now you could say that these people just may have a Leo moon or a lot of fire in their natal chart. If you don't know what a natal chart, it's a birth chart, and you can Google it, and we'll touch that on in a different video. So yeah, those two types of Scorpios. Personally, I prefer the Pluto ones, the ones that are kind of hard to figure out. It's the people that are kind of observing, not really saying much, or a bit more reserved, a bit more quiet. I prefer those because they're just a bit more watery, The Martian types are just very loud and can be very obnoxious, to be honest. Like, they're not, But anyway, why are Scorpios so difficult to deal with? Like, why are they so private? Why are they so guarded? Why do they have to test you 5,000 times, to prove, so you can prove to them that you're worthy of their, basic attention? Like, why are they so judgy? And I think it's because Scorpios have a very hard life. Like, it's very hard being a Scorpio because you're born with a sort of, I don't know, like natural aggressiveness, natural intensity, I guess is the word. And you may feel like you're different. Your whole life you may just go wandering around and just feeling that you're different. Feeling that people around you are just so basic, just so bland and unseasoned. And you're like this, kind of like a black sheep, but not necessarily in a bad way. Most Scorpios actually feel very superior to everyone else, You can have other times where you feel like you're bullied by everyone else. You feel like you're too sensitive for this world. You take everything too personally. You get upset and offended at things that other people don't get upset or offended by. So it's kind of like a double, you can either be the Scorpio victim, or you can be the Scorpio, like, kind of like bully, really. It is a sign of polarity, extreme polarity. So you can have both types. You can even be the type that maybe in high school or when you were younger, you were more the bullied type, and then as you grew older, you became the bully. But the main thing that really kind of sets them apart is that they just feel like they're different. It's almost in a Piscean way, like a 12th houser way. You kind of feel like you don't belong in this world, that people don't get you, that there's something weird about you. And if you try to share that weirdness with your friends, maybe at a younger age, you get shunned, or you get judged, or you get misunderstood. Being misunderstood is really the worst for Scorpio, because this sign really is about understanding things, getting the feel of things, feeling things, making sense of things. It's, when you're born a Scorpio, it's like your life mission is just to know about yourself, to know about other people, to master your intense energy, to make sense of it. You're definitely gonna not go through life like a Libra, just kind of like enjoying everything and not really thinking much about what's happening to you. Scorpios, they just can't shut off that internal especially if you have a Scorpio Mercury. You can see where your because we're talking about sun signs now, but if you want to test your Mercury sign, you can just Google that and you'll find it. So for people with a Scorpio Mercury, life is even harder, because these people process literally everything. They are amazing detectives. They can detect your BS from a mile away. They have like these amazing radars that just pick up so many different levels of information. They pick up your tone, they pick up your, where your eye, how they say, like, some people, when you lie, your eyes kind of look to the right or to the left or whatever. Scorpio knows all about this stuff. Like, they don't even have to read it in a book. They just know. They just have a feeling. They are very sensory. Like, you can try to logic your way out of an argument with them, or kind of try to lie to them using logic, and it just won't work, because they're not logicalizers. They're feelers. They're sensors. Very sensory, very perceptive minds, both for the Scorpio Sun, the Scorpio Mercury. They just feel you out like instantly. I remember there was this one Scorpio guy that I was talking to, and he was a very quiet guy. Like, he never really said much. Like, he would talk a lot and laugh and blah blah blah, but he never really say much about himself, And for some reason, he just oh my god, like, say I was feeling down, or I had a problem, or I had something. This guy would just, instead of asking me like, hey, what's up, what's wrong, this dude would literally sit next to me, and he just like blurt out the most random thing ever, and he would be like, when was the last time you saw your dad? And I'm just like, what? What do you mean? It's like, your dad, like, when was the last time you saw your dad? I'm like, well, actually, my parents are divorced. I haven't seen him in years. And he just like looks at me like with this blank stare, and he's like, you should visit your dad. Like, it will be good for you. And he would just get up and go. And you sit there like, what just happened? And it really gets to you, because it's true. Like, I should really visit my dad, because he obviously saw something in me. Maybe I was doing something wrong, or like something that hinted at daddy issues, but like the fact that they're so piercing, like nobody else, no other star sign could just do that and just like come sit next to you, just throw this amazing word knife at you, just slice you in just exactly the right spot where you need to be sliced, and then just like walk away. And it's been years, and I still remember exactly how this happened. So they just have like this profound effect. And only Scorpio can do that. Like, nobody else can do that. But they're also very difficult people. Like, if you're trying to date a Scorpio, oh boy. I know a lot about dating Scorpios because that's the only star sign that I date. I don't know why, but these Scorpios just keep coming to me. They just keep coming to me. And the weird thing about it is that just because a Scorpio comes to you doesn't mean that he's ready to open up to you. It just means he's showing you his interest. But it's like once you show him interest back, suddenly something changes and he's like, oh shit, I can't tell you this. I can't tell you this. I can't tell you that. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for that, you know? And it's like they start testing you and they start seeing how bad they want to see how bad you want it. They want to see if you can keep a secret. They're going to put you through hypothetical scenarios and situations and just throw in like little tests just to see how you'll respond. And it's so irritating, honestly. It's so annoying. I mean, I'm as a Leo, I'm flattered that you're so interested in me that you want to test me. But can these tests like stop? Like, I'm Leo's a fixed sign. Like, I will be with you. You know, I love Scorpios. I love them. Like, I will be with you. I'm interested in you. Yes, you can tell me your secrets. Yes, you can, let me in, for crying out loud. You know, you don't have to test me 5,000 times. But the reason that they do this is because Scorpios have a lot to offer. Like, regardless of the reputation of them being a little bit of a, kind of like a Gemini, like going like a little bit of Libra, a little bit of Gemini there, kind of, womanizing. They're actually they're like swans. They want one partner, but one partner that's the right partner, you know? It has to be a partner that's perfect for them. Then they'll be satisfied. These guys are very loyal when they find the right partner. If they're still in their whoring stage, like, don't blame them. They're not necessarily doing the whoring because they're whores, but because they're kind of like looking for their partner. And unfortunately, you have to do a little bit of whoring around to find your perfect partner. But Scorpios are so paranoid and so insecure and so, testing you all the time because they have a lot to give. It's kind of like if you're a millionaire or you have a lot of money, you're not just going to go to some shady rundown bank down the street and put in your millions. You're going to want to test the company and see if their safes are good, if their vaults are good, if they're, test the plumbing, test the whatever. Before you invest, you need to test. So these guys do a lot of testing because Scorpio is not just going to be there for like a few months, kind of like, get jiggy with you and then just like move on and leave. If there's an emotional connection with you, they want to lay the foundation. They want to set the groundwork. They want to make sure that this is a safe place for them to just let loose and just, masks off. They want to make sure that you're a safe haven for them. If they doubt you or your trust, or you provoke their jealousy, or you're, too much infidelity or something fishy about you, they can't do it. They're very all or nothing people. So they have a lot to give. That's why they want to make sure that the foundation is stable and the conditions are right. Because the last thing that you want to do is break a Scorpio's heart. Because, first of all, it's a very horrible thing of you to do, because Scorpio is an intense sign. And as I said, they feel things much deeper than other people. They're very empathic. Even if they're not technically like an empath, they're actually more like narcissists. But like, they're very, 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 they feel everything very strongly. And they have a lot of rage issues. Some expressed, some unexpressed. So you have to be very careful when dealing with a Scorpio, because if you break their heart, if they're, unevolved and like very much in their feelings, they will bite you back. They will make sure you hurt just as much, and they will be happy to see you hurting. Because, to be honest, it's almost like you deserve it, because these people are very sensitive. These people have a lot of things to give. You can't just You know, if a Scorpio is interested in you, consider it as a huge responsibility, a huge compliment. It's not like, you know, if let's say we're gonna stereotype this. Say it's not like when a Libra or Gemini man's interested in you, or a Sagittarius, because you know, well, I'm gonna have to stereotype just for the sake of the argument, because you know that shit's not really gonna last. Like, it's, you know, take it with a grain of salt. When a Scorpio comes to it, you better be ready, okay? Because he wants it to last, and you should be prepared for that too. So don't treat it as just like some iffy thing. This guy wants to give you the world, you know? So if you're struggling with a Scorpio, you want to get with him, my advice, being married to a Scorpio, having dated Scorpio men, having been like a Scorpio man magnet, patience. Don't push him. Don't make him come to, don't force him to reveal things about himself. Don't pester him to take things faster. Don't do any of those things. With a Scorpio, good things come to those who wait. There's no other way to put it. If you're like a Leo or an Aries and you really just want them to be so much more expressive with you, it's not the guy for you. Go to a Sag, go to a Gemini, you know, go to someone who's very in for the moment, very lively, very let's party now, let's take the trash out later kind of person. Scorpio is not that kind of person. He says, let's prepare the trash now and then let's party. Scorpio is very anal. Like, if we're gonna go with Freud, he's very anal retentive. Like, he's very paranoid, very insecure. Not in a bad way. Not like he's not confident. Sorry, my mic. He is just very paranoid because he knows that the world is a very dangerous place. So he wants to make sure that he controls everything to ensure his safety. And this goes for people, relationships, money, everything. Like, they're very protective of everything. Kind of like similar to a Capricorn, you know, and a little bit of Virgo in there. Very meticulous when it matters, you know, when it matters. Another thing is, to most Scorpios, because they're so all or nothing, they either are obsessed with you or you kind of like don't exist to them. Like, they'll still be friends with you and stuff, but unless you affect them deeply, you're not really going to be a priority. You're just going to be like yet another one of the people. Even if you get along well and you have jokes and, you know, stuff like that, if they're not emotionally attached to you, you kind of like don't matter. And I guess you can say that about every person, but with Scorpios in particular, they have to feel an emotional attachment to you. For you to matter, they have to be in some degree obsessed with you, you know. You have to be constantly on their mind. You have to stimulate that all or nothingness, black and white, in them. You know, the word for Scorpio is desire. So you have to stimulate their desire to have you, to be with you, to kind of make you theirs, because they're very possessive people. And they have a lot of stamina. You can, you know, if you play hard to get with them, or you're just like a difficult person to catch, it actually stimulates them even more, because it makes them see that, aha, you also want to wait. You also don't just want to jump in and, you know, throw everything like to the wind, you know. You want to take your time because you have a lot to invest as well. So actually, they will respect your privacy, and they'll kind of see you as more someone they can trust because you have like a similar outlook on things. Again, it's a fixed sign. All fixed signs are very careful, cautious, meticulous, you know. For example, if we're going to talk about moon signs, right? Like, I have an Aries moon. I'm impatient as fuck. Like, and that gets me in trouble with Scorpios a lot, because Scorpios can wait out weeks and weeks and weeks. They can have a plan in their head, and they can spend weeks and weeks and weeks like waiting and cautiously doing it. My Aries moon doesn't like that. I want it pronto. I want it now. Why wait? Why do we need all this planning? Just do it now. Scorpios hate that shit. Hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. Because you're interfering with their anal, paranoid, control freak tendencies. You're interfering with it. So they see you as danger. They see you as trouble. They see you as emotionally unstable as well. Because Aries is a cardinal sign. Aries just likes to do and then think later. Scorpio can't do that. If they're serious about something, they want to invest in it. They want to take time. They want to control it. They want to just completely own it. They want to corner it. Make it theirs. Completely control every detail about it. That's what happens when a Scorpio cares. It's all or nothing. You know? So patience, my dear Aries moons. And I have to say this to myself because you have no idea how many arguments I had with Scorpios over this. It's like I didn't have the patience, so I blew up, I lashed out, I left. But then I always come back. And it's very funny because, yeah, you have to be patient with a Scorpio, unfortunately. I'm just going to pause this for one moment. So, that was my little video on Scorpio suns. I will be doing a Scorpio Mercury, maybe a Scorpio Venus next. This is just about a Scorpio sun and the Scorpio energy in general. And this is also my first video, so I'm just still testing out my microphone and the sound levels and just generally just a test. And I'm gonna upload this regardless because, you know, you can't make things perfect. That's just gonna take forever. We're doing trial and error here, so I hope you enjoyed my video. Maybe it didn't relax you because I did get a little hyper as I was getting more passionate about my discussion. So I don't think it really worked as a sleep aid video, but I hope you just enjoyed listening to my voice and hearing a little bit about the Scorpio sun. Thank you. This was Luminary, and let me know what you think. Good night and goodbye. Have a nice day, everyone. Mwah.